so demeaning. We had already begun,
Spencer
but
doesn't know that I startle easily.
Spencer's is the start. There's so many things to talk about. Are there not? Joanna does startle easily, and recently, with our office situation has changed. Has it made it even worse now because there's like more space? I come barreling out of the office.
I don't know if you've gotten a little bit more aggressive with your door opening and closing. I don't know what it is. I just know that several times they're like, whoa.
I can tell you what it is, actually. I have to aggressively open the door. I never aggressively shut the door because I don't believe in door slamming, which has been a point of contention with me and one of my daughters.
I'm just going to go and say disagree.
All right. Your disagreement is noted. I do have to open the door with some force, though, because as the humidity changes in this building, the door gets really, really stuck.
Okay.
And so I really have to kind of put some shoulder into it.
But you guys, this is what a great coworker / supervisor / boss man Kirkwood Bullis is. This morning, he knew I was at my office. Very, very gently opened and said, I am opening my door. And I said, I genuinely appreciate that.
Praise the Lord.
I think it's also just that I get, it's interesting to me because I do think I'm a very good multitasker. You would agree with that.
I completely, right? Well, I think it's the men and women. My wife is the same way.
But I also get very locked in when I'm working. So when I hear something like that, it kind of pulls me out of it. I think that's what startles me.
Sure.
As well.
That's gotten me before. That's got me. The thing that startles me the most is in my office is when like I'm working, got my headphones on, whatever, and then inevitably, as happens to all of us, I get distracted, and suddenly I'm on Facebook. Suddenly somebody bursts in, and I'm like, "Oh, not working," you know. And let me put something up there that's meaningful, quickly. So that's
open up the Bible app.
That's what happens to me. Yeah, I hate that. I wish I could just stay, you know, but I tell you what, with the humidity change here in the offices, we felt that at the choir last Wednesday.
Shout out to all of the choir members who showed up
and stayed.
Felt the dewiness.
It was moist. We're gonna get
felt
to
the
that.
dewiness of the and warmth of the choir room and stayed the entire time. And then Kirkwood, of course, got us excited. It's like, it's warm in here tonight. We can get y'all out early. I think we left like 5 minutes early.
I try. There's so much to do. We've got a lot. I think it was more like 8 minutes early. I think we did a little bit.
I'll give you 3 minutes.
But we can also shout out Denny Carlisle, who I know has been working to figure this out, and it's a challenge. I mean, here in the building, there's a lot of different things. I mean, they built a new classroom this past week because we're bursting at the seams with our classroom situation. Denny's always working on the controls.
Genuinely, I don't know how he does it all.
I don't either.
And he's always so kind and so patient.
So shout out to Denny Carlisle. If you know him, you love him. If you see him, you know.
I mean, we literally ask him to put up walls, and then a year or two later say, "Will you take this wall back down, please?" That has happened
like
actual walls, not like temporary.
He just laughs about it.
Yeah.
But it seems like a genuine, mirthful laughter, and then he gets to work and he brings the contractor guys in, and so there's a new classroom here in the creative area, the creative suite. That's not I don't know. It was actually a really cool moment because we were like, wow, we need more classrooms. There's some extra space in these 2 rooms, which were kind of a quirk of a previous renovation, the fact that we had, and so we just combined them, and now there's a brand new classroom, and that's what we're working towards. We're all in this together, as we say. That's it. And we've got a direct line. Bringing it back. We're bringing it all the way back.
That's going to be on Spotify soon also. I know Kirkwood's been talking about the song that we introduced in the service. But
that's right. Oh,
direct line is also in the works.
We'll get that going. Yes, we had that original song a couple of weeks ago.
Through the
Valley, beautiful song, I believe very helpful to the congregation. We should talk about that for just a second because Josh Pike was the primary writer on that one, and then we got our little writing team. We got that together, and but I've been I've realized how out of practice I am with the music publishing thing. So the publishing arm of Valleydale Church is a very it's a one-man operation. I was going to say it's a very small operation, but I'm a very large person. It's a very large one-man operate. Yeah, very large arm. Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah, don't use this, Spencer. Don't use this as our. Don't use. But my hands are outstretched.
Just keep.
Don't use that.
Cool.
So we're gonna get that up on the Spotify, whatever. It'll be coming up soon.
Coming soon to a streaming platform. Near you.
Cheers. Music platform near you. We're gonna make that happen, and then we will let you know. Also got another song that we haven't played on Sunday yet. It's a treatment of Psalm 14. Super dark, moody, as is
Guess
Psalm
wrote
14.
That one.
And just a bright ray of sunshine. So that's coming up as well. So that takes care of our church. I guess we could talk about a little bit more church news. We've got Pastor who's traveling, which I was really impressed yesterday. He rattled off his whole schedule. He actually did the whole schedule.
He and Debbie are both speaking at a conference this week, and then they're headed to London.
That's right.
Pastors teaching conference type thing in London, and then we have a whole team in London.
Yes,
that's going to be.
They're leaving on Thursday, I believe.
And then we also have two different things going on in Las Vegas. We have the Build X.
Yes.
Patrick said already going on, and then we just sent a team, or we're sending a team out there as well to work with our partners. So it's exciting. And we have our 1 p.m. Serve Day coming up on October 4th.
That is a Saturday.
That's a Saturday.
That is indeed a Saturday. Yeah, that'll be great. One thing, if Patrick was here, he would want us to reiterate that, like, anybody from Valleydale, any life group from Valleydale can serve anytime. Doesn't have to be on Serve Day. That's just a date that we can
I'm going to correct you. Not just can. We would love for you
We would love for you
It is encouraged. Patrick is very excited about life groups and individuals just embracing, like, hey, I have this idea. I see a need in the community. I can do something about this. And he says, I believe I can say this on the record, you don't have to check with him. You don't. You can go, like, do the thing and share the love of Jesus, be his hands and feet anywhere in the community, any day you want. But 1 p.m. Serve Day is a great day to do it kind of collectively. There's just a sense of community in that, and a presence in the community that we can, that people can see, and also a good way if you are not actively involved in serving outside the doors of the church. That gives you lots of opportunities to get started with that.
Yeah, it's helpful that we've got the 1 p.m. day to organize things, but some people, they already have other projects going, and so we support that. Lots of things to talk about from yesterday, but you told me that you wanted to have some kind of F1 minute. Is that right?
Yes. You guys are always talking about football.
Yes.
And basketball.
Yes.
Not baseball much.
Spencer, are you are you a sportsman at all? What's your
Spencer and F1 guy?
Oh, is that right? Okay. Does Spencer need to come on the program right now? Because I don't really know too much.
Come.
All of my stuff is I just watched the F1 movie with Brad Pitt. I think that's all.
I still haven't even seen the movie, but let's just talk about who are we so excited for today.
Carlos Sainz.
Yes, and why are we so excited?
Got his first podium for Williams after being ousted by Ferrari for Sir Lewis Hamilton.
And he got it before Sir Lewis Hamilton has gotten a podium for Ferrari.
Vindicated.
Vengeance is Carlos's. Okay, sorry, I won't be heretical. Here's the other thing you need to know. So we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
That women like a good story, right?
Who doesn't?
Men can love a movie just simply because it's well shot, simply because it has great action scenes. Women want a good story. We want somebody to root for. Okay. I have been rooting for Carlos ever since they split up the bromance of Carlos and Charles Leclerc, if you want to try to say it the French way, which is terrible. Charles Leclerc.
Monegasque. Okay. Monegasque. He's from Monaco, not France.
Sorry.
Let's
beautiful
be
French
specific.
accent, though. You're right. Anyway, they split them up when he was ousted, as you said, and went to Williams. And so this has been a long time coming. He's had a very sad season up until now. He's had a couple of good races, but it's just been sad. They broke up this beautiful friendship. Also, I saw he's only the second driver in F1 to podium for Williams, Ferrari,
so
and
McLaren, Williams,
right?
Ferrari, along with Alan Prost from back in the 80s and 90s.
Yes, I didn't know Alan's name, but I did see that stat. So anyway, we're very excited for Carlos. Feel like it's very deserving. Been a long time coming.
All right, I'm breaking up this relationship.
And so cute.
I don't understand anything that y'all are talking
so
about.
Cute. He and his former partner ended up driving because their flight got diverted. They ended up literally renting a van to drive the rest of the way.
In the F1
after
race?
Drove a van.
So there's
in the F1
planes,
race.
trains, and automobiles?
Yes, yes.
F1
Anyway.
races?
Anybody who's following F1 knows it's a fun sport. I definitely got into it because my husband was into it. They just do a really great job. Their broadcast is very enjoyable. You know, I'm a huge fan of the British, just
Mystique.
the humor. No, not the mistake. The humor, the manners, just the whole vibe, and that's a big part of watching F1 as well.
Andrew, have you ever watched any F1?
I'm a big NASCAR.
I could have predicted that. Big old soul.
If they turn right, you know, if they don't turn left, it's not my dream.
I see what you're saying.
Oh, hey, so this is something I looked up.
Noted leftist Andrew Nunnally.
Oh boy, I looked this up, Spencer, and I know you already know this. Do you know if the F1 races always go either clockwise or counterclockwise?
Wow,
The tracks.
I don't know. What I know that there's a lot of winding, but
There's
you're
a
saying,
lot
do
of
they?
winding.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's all a loop. Like it's, you know,
Yeah.
they are not all. There are, I think, like 3 that are counter.
Split across the circuit.
That's really
Okay.
interesting.
Mostly counterclockwise.
Yeah. No, both are clockwise. Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure they tune the cars based on like how many turns are this way versus
Well,
that
there's
way.
so much that goes into it that I still don't understand. But I did see, like, when I look, so I'm watching the race yesterday, and I was like, are they going the other way? And Ken was like, what do you mean? And I was like, I just
The
kind of
other
usually
way.
go. I know it's a very female thing to say, but that I just felt different. And so I looked that up, and it takes a different toll, not just on the car, but on the drivers, because they train their neck muscles and like all these things to react to all the forces.
All the
of
G forces.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, interesting.
That is, I feel like I've learned a lot today. Thank you for this
You're
F1
welcome.
moment.
You're welcome.
And I didn't fully put it together either that all of NASCAR is leftist until today. So I feel like I've
I don't know if that's.
really come to a new place of understanding.
Product.
I'm grateful for that. Lots of other great notes from yesterday here at the Dale. It was a good day. I tell you, we've been having this moment in our nation's history ever since Charlie Kirk's murder, and attendance has been super high.
Mm-hmm.
We've had so many people responding just through prayer. And so I'm really grateful for that. We got to sing "Come Jesus Come" yesterday, and that was a helpful note for me because we're here at the end of the Daniel series, and now we've been thinking a lot about the second coming, and as I was praying through it, it was just really notable to me that we can think about the second coming with peace.
Yes.
You know, let's see. I think it's interesting that 4th verse of "It Is Well With My Soul." It says, "The trump shall resound," that is the trumpet of God, trumpet of the archangel. "The trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend." And then what does it say after that?
Lord, shall descend.
Even
I was thinking of a different song. Sorry.
Even
So,
so, it is well with my soul.
your
So the writer, good old Horatius Spafford, even understood that, like, that's going to be a moment of triumph for the Lord, but there's just a fear of the Lord is going to be in everybody.
Yes.
But it's well with your soul because you know that you're counted among the righteous.
That 3rd or 4th verse in a lot of the songs we sing talk about standing before Him one day,
That's
seeing Him
right.
face to face, and doing it with joy. And that is always, I want to say, is it not All I Have Is Christ? What's the other one kind of like that we recorded on the parking lot? I'm a big fan of it, but we
Yet
don't do
not
it a
I.
lot. Yes.
Yeah, not I, but through Christ in me.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we do that a lot.
Maybe we do. Anyway, there's some. I want to say that's what I was trying to think of whenever you were trying to prompt me to say the worst two.
Okay. Yeah. There.
The very well-known song.
Well, and maybe there. Some people know that, some people don't. But that's like a. There's a general progression to many of the famous hymns. That we'll talk about the praise to God, and then they'll talk about the darkness of sin, and then they'll talk about the glory in the cross, and then they'll talk about the hope of the second coming. And sometimes it's more clear than others. But
so here are the words I was trying to think of. With every breath I long to follow Jesus, for he has said that he will bring me home, and day by day I know he will renew me until I stand with joy.
Stand with joy before the throne, right? Yeah. What else could you have? Yes, because you know that you're redeemed. So Pastor got into it yesterday. There was a lot of review as he looked at the first 3 verses of Daniel chapter 12. And I think just because so much of it is review, I don't know how much we will go into it today. But the one thing that we wanted to make sure that we hit was this idea of the 4 resurrections, which I think was new to most people. I don't know that the 4 resurrections is in itself some kind of like theological concept. However, Pastor is exactly right. There's these 4 different times where people are brought back from the grave, and it's good to understand what those are. And Joe's going to help me some with this because Pastor went really, really fast through the last one. So, but let's just start with the really easy one. The first resurrection that Pastor was talking about is the resurrection of Christ. Later, he's called the firstborn from the dead. He's the first fruits from the dead. And Pastor mentioned that he's called the first fruits because he's the is it a harbinger? I don't know what to call it.
Harbinger. He says the guarantee of resurrection.
That's a better word. A guarantee of further resurrection to come. All right, now help me with because I struggle with the order here too. I'm glad we're going through this. So what was the second one?
That's the church, which will take place at the beginning of the 7-year period.
Right. This is before any of the tribulation, right? Yes. And so he's talked about that in previous messages, and I believe that this is the resurrection that's spoken of. Is it First or Second Thessalonians 4? First Thessalonians 4. First Thessalonians 4. So you guys can read about that there. Notable about Thessalonians, again, going back to the joy before the throne. Paul specifically wrote the letter of Thessalonians as an encouragement. And Pastor, I don't think he said this directly, but just to synthesize a couple things that Pastor said yesterday, if your study or your proclamation of the second coming is not an encouragement, but rather a confusion, a discouragement, or even a condemnation, I think that perhaps we're not studying these things biblically. Pastor did say that because he said he does not instruct us in this way in order that we could be puffed up with knowledge or then become a stumbling block to the gospel, but rather this should just strengthen our faith in the gospel. So that's those who died in Christ in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. What's the third resurrection that
there is a third
about?
Part of there is a third resurrection. It will be at the end of the tribulation period. All of the Jews that were saved and killed during the 7-year period, and the Gentiles that came to Christ as well during that time will be raised. We read about that in Revelation 24.
That's Revelation 20, verse 4. Yep. You're getting into now really advanced eschatology, and though I did not put a lot of time into this since yesterday, this is probably, if Pastor were here, I'd probably be talking to him a little bit about some of the different, how I know scholars differ on some of these things, particularly the timing. Pastor in particular is very, very strong on that the church is raptured and taken away before the tribulation period. I think I agree with him on that. It's just notable for anybody that's studying these things. There are several scholars that say that the church needs further refining, and they're actually raptured at the end of that tribulation period. Just something interesting to think about. And then finally, the fourth resurrection, and this is really the discouraging one.
And this is the one that I had was lacking.
He went really
in my
quick
notes.
through
yes,
this.
So,
Yeah.
and you said you specifically got questions about it.
Yes.
And I literally, I walked over and told a couple of people I was doing the recap today, and they said, "Hi, I need to go back. I didn't get that fourth point." So
There it is.
for all of us who struggle to understand that fourth point and get it fully, we come to the final resurrection of those who rejected Christ, those who had received the mark of the beast, all of the dead who died without faith in Jesus Christ. And this is referenced in Revelation 20, verses 11 through 15.
And this is a sad one because it's a reanimation of this person, and their I guess resurrection is the proper word, in that they have some type of life again, but sadly it's only life to then stand before the throne, not in joy, but to receive the full penalty for their actions, and then they're cast into the second death.
Mm-hmm.
So that really is, that's one of those places, golly. So then you get into the intermediate state, because the natural question after that is, well, if they're not in this eternal torment yet, where have they been? The shortest answer that you can give is that yes, there is a good place and a bad place even now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the last day, the good place gets even better, and the bad place gets even worse. So the fancy term, theological term, is the intermediate state, because if you, as Jesus tells the thief on the cross, when you die today, you'll be with me in paradise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where all the departed believers are now. But then when we also understand, and Jesus actually gives the traditional Jewish belief about Sheol when he gives the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. He talks about how, yes, if you die and you're not in faith, if you're not, then you're going to a bad place. Mm-hmm. And it is a place with weeping and gnashing of teeth. Jesus himself calls it Gehenna, which there's a lot we could go into there, but I'm not going to pontificate much more. So, yes, there is a final judgment. The believers are judged according to the work of Christ, and they go to an even better place. And the non-believers are judged according to their sin, because there is no covering, and they are then taken to the second death, also called the lake of fire, and that's where the enemy himself is finally cast. Pastor mentioned yesterday how even now the enemy, very strangely, this is strange but true, the enemy has access to the courts of heaven. You know, mm-hmm. We see that in the early chapters of Job, when his head is cut off and he's thrown into the lake of fire. Obviously, that access will be denied for all eternity. Wow, a little bit more eschatology, I guess. I'm sure that, so Pastor, as you'll remember, he lamented just that there's just so much to talk about, and all of it is interconnected. It's difficult to talk about one of these Daniel prophecies without going into so much. And so I guess maybe he'll return to Dan. He's preached Thessalonians before. You can find that if you go back through our YouTube archive as well, if you're looking for more info on what Pastor's given us with regards to eschatology. That was a lot.
It was a lot. Great series, though, and I do just want to mention one of the biggest takeaways for me. It is a lot, like you said. It's a lot to try to understand, especially with the earthly confines that we are limited by at this point. But I do hope that our people are encouraged. Like you said, that we will one day experience this, and it won't be from a place of dread, but a sense of joy and celebration. And this most certainly should spur us on to share Jesus with everybody.
That's got to be the
Everybody.
point. That's got to be the point. And I would add, I think I might have said this already, but don't let your personal interpretation of eschatology be a dividing line between you and other believers, and certainly do not let it become a stumbling block as you share the gospel.
Seek the common ground, celebrate the common ground. Fortify yourselves with that, and ask the Holy Spirit for clarity on what you don't understand.
I will continue to do that. It's been good hanging out with you guys. Thanks for coming to the sermon recap today. We'll see you on Wednesday night, and we'll be back here again next Monday. Keep praying for Pastor
Am I going to
as he travels. I don't know, with a surprise guest next Monday. Say bye, Joanna.
Goodbye, Joanna.